Hi, this is Joyce McKee, and I'm at the SEER offices with Cathy Breden. It's Tuesday, March the 21st, and Cathy's got an incredible story that I want her to tell all of us about, and that's her trip to and from Asia. So, Cathy, give us the details of what happened.
Thank you. I was in Singapore for a trade mission and was returning to the States on the day that the earthquake happened in Japan. Our flight was scheduled to land at Tokyo Narita Airport. The pilot came on about an hour out and said that he had some bad news, that there had been a bad earthquake in Japan and that it was situated, the epicenter was near Sendai. He didn't have any more information other than that, didn't tell us other than Tokyo Narita was closed, and they had no idea when Narita was going to open back up. They were trying to find an airport for us to land at, and eventually they did find an airport in the southern part of Japan, Fukuoka, Japan. Had to look it up on the internet to see where it was located. We landed there. Within 90 minutes they had us off of the plane. You could tell that they had contingency plans, because by the time we got off of the plane, we waited in the gate area, and very quickly, probably within 20 minutes of everybody getting off of the plane, they asked everybody to queue up, gave everybody a hotel voucher that looked like it was printed on very nice paper, taxi vouchers and vouchers for breakfast and for dinner that evening. And by the time that I got to my hotel room, had dinner, I was back in my room by about 9:30 that evening. You could just tell that by the time we got to the hotel, they had a separate desk set up for our flight where we were funneled to, and there was somebody there all the time to answer questions. The next morning, when I came out of my room to get breakfast, they had placed a note outside of my door saying that be ready to check out of the hotel by 11 a.m. and be back at the airport by 2 p.m. in order to catch a flight out. We did not know where we were going at that point because we were on a 747. We had been told that that airplane was too big to take off from that airport. They could land there, but they weren't able to take off. But in the end, we did fly out on the 747, departed right on time at 2 p.m., flew into Tokyo Narita, which we were all surprised at because we had been told that the infrastructure in Japan was too chaotic, and that was one of the reasons why they did not divert us to another airport outside of Tokyo. Landed us on the ground. We went through immigration, went through security, went back to the gate, and probably within 20 minutes of arriving back at the gate, they put everybody back on the plane. We were there no longer than 90 minutes. So I think it just really speaks to the importance of having contingency plans for your events, especially if you are in an area where it's more prone to natural disasters. You know, what happens if at the last minute there's a flood in your hotel and you're not able to hold the event? Have you looked at previously going into the hotel? Have you looked at other facilities that are in the area or in surrounding states that you might be able to use as a backup? Also, just, how do you handle your customers? I cannot say enough about Singapore Airlines and the customer service and the way that they treated their customers from the beginning to the end, and keeping us informed, and and really wanting us to have as good of an experience as we possibly could with the airline and with the situation and the delays. And in the end, I ended up getting back home to Dallas within 24 hours of my scheduled arrival date the day prior, and unfortunately did not know how bad that the earthquake was until subsequent to my arrival back at home. So my tip to everybody is to check your contingency plans, your crisis plan for your events, and make sure that you have all different types of situations covered.
Well, you were telling me earlier that this Singapore Airlines always has like 10 crisis plans,
Yes.
Talk about that.
Yeah, we were very fortunate. We had a passenger on the flight who actually works for Singapore Airlines, and he had stayed up all night long kind of coordinating things back with the office back in Singapore, and in talking with us the next morning at the airport, because he was standing there and greeting us, and was in jeans. He wasn't in Singapore attire, which was fine, but it made him one of us because we were all experiencing this unique situation together. He explained to us that Singapore Airlines has about 10 different contingency plans for just this type of situation, which the fact that they had the hotel vouchers already printed up. They fortunately had selected a Hilton hotel in Fukuoka that was large enough to accommodate the overwhelming majority of the passengers on that aircraft. And the fact that they were able to divert taxis and get taxis to the airport to take these 400 passengers to the hotel, to me was just a testament to the fact that they've been through this before, and that they've thought about as much as possible what the contingencies might be.
Yeah. I just recently, Kathy knows, I lost 34 gigs of data, which is, I'm an information pack rat, and to lose 34 gigs, I thought I had a backup plan. Well, now, based upon having that harsh reality into my life, I now have 3 or 4 backup plans. So I agree with Kathy, we need to be taking a look at not only the shows and the physicalness, but then let's go over into the cyberness and talk about your PR crisis plan. If somebody has or says something negative about you or something untrue about maybe one of the board members, what is the crisis plan that you can handle and squelch something very quickly?
Well, I think that's a very important point, not only from the standpoint of a natural disaster, but just having a PR plan for different situations. For instance, with the advent of social media, and what happens if someone is blogging very negative things, or there's a conversation that's going on Twitter, for instance, that might be reflecting poorly on your organization. And having appropriate plans for stepping in and addressing those issues directly and honestly and as transparently as possible, to hopefully move those conversations on beyond that situation. So it's very important that you have a crisis communications plan, crisis plan for different scenarios, not only for natural disasters, but also man-made disasters, and making sure that your PR plan and everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing along the way. Absolutely. Very critical.
Good. Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you.